So this video is all about how Filipinos can get a job working for an American boss. Now, I'm an American boss. I've currently got 14 full-time employees in the Philippines, and I'm going to share from my perspective how you can get a job working for an American company. So if you live in the Philippines and you want to work for an American boss, I'm an American boss and I have a team of 14 full-time employees in the Philippines. I'm hiring one more right now, and I want to tell you from my perspective what I'm looking for and what would give you a better chance of getting hired. And I just want to say that I'm really grateful for that opportunity. It really allows us in America to do things as small businesses that we wouldn't normally be able to do. I mean, normally I'd have to hire somebody for sometimes 10 times the amount that I can hire somebody for in the Philippines. And yet when I do that, all my team tells me that, no, this is a blessing. You're not taking advantage of me. And I really am grateful for that. And so really from my heart, I appreciate you. And I hope that this video can help you find a really good job. This website, Virtual Assistant Tool, I love using the advanced skill search. And so I commonly hire people that are video editors. So let me show you what I do so that you can know how to create the best profile. I'll come down here and look at graphics and multimedia, and I want to see what their skill set is for video editing. Are they an expert? Are they best in the world? So I'll turn on some of these filters. I'll just really narrow it down. So pay attention and be accurate in the way that you rate yourself in different skill sets. Then I also come up here and I like to use an ID proof score of greater than 70. I go as high as I can go just to really narrow it down, because if somebody's got a really low ID proof score, I know that they really haven't taken their profile here seriously. They haven't gone through all the steps to kind of verify themselves and prove that they really are who they say they are. And so I just want to eliminate all of that. I also turn on the filter for a month or less, or if I've still got too many people, I'll narrow it down more by going to a week or less. So the recommendation for you is to come in regularly and update your profile so that employers who are using that same filter, so that they're finding you and know that you're still looking for a job. Now, when I hit search, there's also a couple additional things that I can check. I can come over here and say that I want profiles that have a picture, and then I can narrow it down even more. So, and still, there's 673 here, so I probably narrow it down even more. But that'll give you an idea of how I narrow things down. Another thing that I look for, especially if I'm hiring a writer, is how well written is the profile. And so, especially if you're going to get hired as a writer, you really want to showcase your best writing skills in writing your profile. If you're going to get hired for something else, maybe find somebody that is a good writer and can really help you in writing a good profile that it really speaks to the employer. So I'm just going to pick on the first person here, Noel. That's a really cool name. He's got a really cool mustache. That looks like a review. Where's his profile paragraph? Okay, there he goes. I'm a skilled service provider specializing in video editing, 2 years, data entry, 5 years, research, 8 years, and lead generation, 2 years. I'm also experienced in Amazon product research, content writing. So it's kind of diluting. He's got a lot of different expertises, and while in his mind he's like, I want to tell everybody everything that I'm good at, so hopefully I can get hired. But if he would focus on the thing that he was the best at, the thing that was his favorite job to do, what he really wanted to get hired, his dream job, and he painted the picture of, I love video editing. If when I read his profile, I can see how he's going to be an asset to my company and how I'm going to be benefited by hiring him, that's what's really going to pull me in and want me to read close and actually to reach out to him. Let me just show you an example, and this is the easiest to show because I'm currently hiring a writer. And so somebody who's a writer really needs to speak to me and showcase their writing skills. So this one person said, are you looking for an affordable but high quality content to boost your website, social media page, or e-commerce store? If you're a startup company or a one-man business who's looking for top-grade product descriptions for your Amazon store. So as they wrote this, they're asking me questions. Hey, is this you? Is this what you're looking for? You're really looking for this benefit? So whatever your skill set is, whatever your dream position is, paint the picture for the potential employer of how it's going to benefit them. And I think that'll really go a long way in getting attention of a great employer. Now, when you are in communication with different companies, I recommend doing a lot of research on the company. Make sure it's a good fit. Find out if you can trust the employer, and don't do anything that's too risky. See, there's risk on both ends. As an employer, I want somebody that I can rely on, and I'm going to give them access to parts of my company. And I'm kind of like, I've never met this person. Is this reliable? Maybe I'll give them a test first to make sure that they're going to do a good job. I'm going to pay this person money. Am I going to get scammed here? And on your end, you're thinking, I'm going to give all this time. I'm going to start doing this work. What if they don't even pay me? Right? So there's risk on both sides when we're on the opposite sides of the planet and we don't know each other. So do your research. Find out if they've ever outsourced before, if they've ever hired anyone else in the Philippines. If they have hired somebody in the Philippines, see if you can talk to one of their employees. I have no problem giving my applicants access to talk to other members of my team. And they talk in Tagalog and I have no idea what they're saying, and it's never been a problem for me. Something else that's really important to me is quick communication. Now, I know that there's a huge difference in time zone, but if I ask you a question and I have to wait 48 hours to get a response, I'm probably already going to move on and hire somebody else. Versus if I send you an email and then 6 a.m. your time, you respond right back, I'm like, right when they woke up, this was a priority. They responded to me. That really makes a big impact. Now, when I hire somebody in the Philippines, I'm always looking for a long-term relationship. I don't just want to hire somebody for a project. And I've learned that that's actually quite rare. Most people on the employee and employer side, they're just working on projects, and then when they have another project, they go back and maybe they reach out to that same person, or they try and hire somebody new. But I found the most success when I can hire somebody long-term. From my perspective, I can give them access to a lot more, and I can train them a lot more on my systems, and they can get better and better. I can invest in them, and they just become more and more valuable to my company. I can give them pay raises, and for them, they have long-term stability. They don't have to keep looking for a job and have fluctuations of income. I know that there are other people out there like me, and so know that you don't have to settle for a project. Maybe keep taking on a project, but find a company that will hire you long-term. Now, I want to give you some advice about how you could use your phone to really stand out from all the other applicants who might be applying for that same position. Whatever the employer asks you to do to apply, within reason, I want you to do that. Fill out their application or follow the steps, answer the questions that they have for you, but I recommend going an extra step and making a selfie video. So, maybe use a tripod or whatnot. You don't have to hold it so it's wiggly, but it doesn't have to be high production quality. Just talk to them and say, hey, say your name, say, I'm Nate Woodbury. This is what I've done. This is what my experience is. And this is why I want to work for your company. And I really feel that the position you've got here is an amazing opportunity. I've researched your company. You look like a great employer. Thanks so much for letting me apply. Talk for a few minutes. So just by taking that step, from my perspective, I love getting videos like that. And I love it so much that now I have all my applicants do that. And it serves as a filter. Those who won't do that, I know that they're not willing to do a hard or uncomfortable thing. It is an uncomfortable thing to put yourself on video. But by doing that, you're really going to stand out. And of all the jobs that you might apply for, that's going to help you get the job that you really want. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm actually curious what other questions you might have from my perspective. So if you leave your questions in the comments below, then I can answer them there, or perhaps I'll even make another episode to answer your questions there. I'm assuming you've already been to this website, but if not, check out the virtualassistanttool.com. It's just an amazing resource where I go to find employees in the Philippines, and we'll see you tomorrow.